And hundreds from around the world gathered in Jerusalem last week to confront the growing threat of anti-Semitism. ILTV's Mayan Hoffman was on the scene and joined a semi-private press briefing with Diaspora Affairs Minister Amichai Shikli, who hosted the event. Let's take a look.
Despite criticism over its guest list and attempts to paint it as controversial, the International Convention Center in Jerusalem was packed last Thursday. Hundreds of ambassadors, public figures, rabbis, students, and influencers from more than 30 countries gathered for a global conference on anti-Semitism, hosted by Israel's Ministry for Diaspora Affairs and Combating Anti-Semitism. The event, titled Ambassadors of Truth, focused on the sharp rise in anti-Semitism since the October 7th attack and the need to build a united international response. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, former U.S. Ambassador David Friedman, and Australian journalist Aaron Molan were among the keynote speakers. The controversy centered on the participation of far-right politicians from Europe, including members of France's National Rally, Spain's Vox Party, and the Sweden Democrats. However, in a press briefing, Minister Amichai Shikli defended the decision to include them. He said Israel should judge these parties by their current actions, not their pasts, while remaining vigilant.
Actions speaks louder than words, and that is how we decide how to address these parties.
In response to a question from ILTV News, Shikli emphasized the need for Israel to move beyond traditional hasbara and focus instead on reshaping the narrative.
One thing to invest in and to push forward, I think, is we don't need to invest in what we call in Hebrew hasbara. I think that we are the only state that has this term, hasbara, to explain ourselves. We don't need to explain ourselves. And I think that also we need to get rid of some of the old mottos. Israel has a right to defend itself. You say it only about Israel. Every state, it goes without saying. It's normal. Obviously, we have the right to defend ourselves. That's obvious. That goes without saying. I think we need to invest in identifying the engines of anti-Semitism, to address the engines, and to make it more difficult for them to operate. We need to say the truth. To say the truth and to fight those who spread lies against the State of Israel and against the IDF.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also spoke, warning that anti-Semitism is no longer hiding on the fringes. It's spreading through the core of Western society. However, he said, he believes that the situation is about to change.
Our tormentors are now undergoing a change of perception. They realize a simple truth. We are no longer powerless. We are no longer weak.
The conference marked the end of 2 packed days of events. International guests toured the Gaza border and parts of the West Bank, visiting sites affected by the October 7th attacks.